If I was asked to give just one single dating tip that can drastically change your love life and therefore your whole life, I would tell that you should give up this desire to find perfection, this desire to meet a perfect partner. I would say that you should drop these expectations that your perfect match should have this exact height, or he or she should be of this exact age, have blue or green eyes, have this education. You should get rid of all this. And the moment you actually do it will be the moment when you will start noticing real people around you, real people who can actually become a good match, who can become a person that will inspire you to become a better person, a person who can complement your life, not make it more complicated and overly dramatic, a person who can actually bring more happiness into your life. So many times I have watched singles, both men and women, walk past great candidates because in their opinion they didn't reach the bar, they didn't match this perfect scenario. For example, women were declining a date with a great gentleman who potentially could have chosen her back, who shares her values, long-term goals, but in her opinion, he is way too short, just 1 meter and 75 centimeters, and her Mr. Perfect should be over 1 meter and 80 centimeters tall. Or for example, he doesn't have the education she believes her Mr. Perfect should have. Or she doesn't want to go out with him because he is divorced, and well, at 45 she has noticed that his hairline has started to thin. And men can be as ridiculously picky, as ridiculously stubborn in their dating strategy as women. I have heard it so many times that he won't go out with her because she should have lost like 2 kilos, and now she wears like medium size, or she's in between small and medium. She should lose 2 kilos and then she might be perfect. Or I won't go out with her because her eyes are brown and I prefer someone with green eyes or with blue eyes. Or he doesn't want to go out with her because she is just a travel agent or a fitness instructor, and he would really prefer to date a doctor because he believes he should have future kids with the doctor. I have watched men declining great potential candidates because, well, she should have grown her hair a little bit longer, or for other different crazy reasons. So often singles walk past great candidates who might have been actually good potential candidates because they share similar values, they share similar long-term goals, and they could have potentially chosen them back. So instead of trying to get to know these people, trying to build a relationship with someone who can actually choose them back, they stick to this perfect image that pretty often they have created based on numerous cliches, based on pop culture, based on beauty standards that are popular today and won't mean much in a few weeks or in a few years. And they do all that because in their mind they have created this unrealistic image how it should be, and they don't feel ready to bulge. So often people get obsessed over things that have zero influence on the long-term compatibility, and they can say very little if you might have built a relationship together. After all, like, does it really matter if her hair is shorter or longer today, if she can like you and appreciate you the way you are? Well, but people believe that they can find perfection. Not so long ago we have showed a profile to our client, and the gentleman said straight away that this was perfection. This lady was perfect because she was tall, blonde, with blue eyes, and she had the body shape that he found perfect, and he called her to ask her out on a date. And unfortunately the lady, after talking to him on phone, later she claimed that she didn't like his voice. She didn't feel any chemistry and she was kind of turned off by his voice, and she has decided not to go out with him on a first date. Of course, it is a ridiculous reason not to go out because on phone you didn't like the voice. In real life, it might have sounded different. If she gave herself a chance and this gentleman a chance to build this acquaintance, to meet offline to see if there could have been more, well, who knows. But for whatever reason, she has decided not to do that. She didn't like his voice. End of it. And the gentleman was upset, but we have suggested him to be introduced to other ladies, and we have showed him 2 profiles, and he called the ladies. They had several Zoom calls, and they have met in person offline, and the ladies showed interest. They thought that he was handsome and they liked his voice, and they wanted to get to know him better to see if this acquaintance had potential to lead to a relationship. But our client told that the first lady was perfection. Why? She didn't even want to meet you. Why do you think she was perfect? Well, because her photos, I love them. I like them better than these women. These women are real. They show real interest. There is no sense at all to think about a woman who had a chance to meet you but has decided not to do that. Why are you obsessing over her? So instead of feeling happy and feeling proud that there are like two women who showed interest, and these women, they match his criteria, and now he has this better position. He can actually compare how he feels when he goes out with them. Of course, they are not in a relationship yet, so you can't really date two people at once. But at the early stage, he had an advantage. He might have compared how he feels. Instead, he has decided to be very upset, to overthink why a stranger has decided not to go out with him. How come she didn't like my voice? And of course, the ladies felt it, that his interest was elsewhere, his attention was elsewhere, and they have lost interest as well. It reminds me of a joke about a little boy who is crying in the street, and a policeman noticed that a boy is crying. He comes and asks him, like, why are you crying? And the boy tells that, you know what, I have lost $1. And a policeman sees that a boy is really upset, so he gives him $1, and the boy starts crying even harder. Then the policeman is asking him, but why are you crying now? And the boy tells him, oh, if only I haven't lost my $1, now I would have had $2 instead of just one. So forget about perfection, forget about perfect pictures. That woman, even if you liked her photos best, she had a chance to actually meet you. She has decided not to do that because, well, she didn't like your voice, it didn't reach her expectations. So now you can either focus on a woman, literally a stranger who had a chance to meet you but has decided not to do that, or you can enjoy the company of new people who actually show interest, who are investing time and effort to see if this acquaintance can grow. Stop looking for perfect photos, perfect jokes, perfect age, perfect voices, etc. Another gentleman, our 49-year-old client, wanted to date younger, and we've told him that we would aim at ladies in the age group late 30s up till early 40s, and if we manage to get someone younger, of course we will suggest him her profile. And we have talked to a lady, she was 35, and during the interview she was actually not scared by the age gap. She said that okay, I will meet him. She liked everything we have shared about our client. We told that he is really intelligent, well-traveled, he's successful professionally, he has many interesting hobbies, he looks great for his age. We showed his photos, and she said that yes, I'm interested. So they went out on a first date, and after the first date, the lady, I remind you, she was 35 and he was 49. She said that, you know what, it's not for me. Like, yes, he was as smart as you told me and really witty, and he has a great personality, but the whole date I was looking at his neck and hands and I could see wrinkles, and I have tried to imagine like touching him, and I didn't feel any attraction at all. Of course, our psychologist and myself, we said that okay, first dates, it's a nervous experience. Maybe you should go out on a second date to see, perhaps some chemistry will appear there. Perhaps you will have some wine, relax. She went out on a second date and she has given us similar feedback that the age gap was there. She kept thinking about that, and after the second date, he reminded her of her uncle, her father's brother. He was also in his late 40s, and she said that no, unfortunately, it's not for me. Well, it's never pleasant to bring bad news, sad news, like, your date unfortunately doesn't want to go out with you on the third date to a client, so usually we try to cheer a client up with the new introduction, and we have suggested him a date with a lady, a 38-year-old lady who showed interest after seeing his profile, and our client went out on a date with her, and this lady has actually given feedback that he was very handsome, she felt attraction, that he was so witty, they had a fantastic time. But our client told us that, you know what, I still prefer the first date, the 36 years old lady, because she was 2 years younger. But she doesn't want to date you. Like, she went out with you and she literally has called you an old man. She said that she didn't feel any attraction. So why are you even thinking about her? You have another match who is willing to go out with you, who finds you attractive. No. 38, I would prefer if she was 36. So sometimes people, both men and women, they choose perfect criteria, and they got so stubborn about stepping to the left or to the right or changing this criteria. And very often these criteria, they tell very little about long-term compatibility, about your similarities in values, if you actually want similar things. So people obsess over perfect numbers, like perfect age or perfect height, or for example, a perfect university. She has to finish only this university, or he has to be a business person, or he just has to be a lawyer, or I'm just not attracted to women with brown eyes. People create crazy criteria in their minds to create this perfect image of the perfect partner. I have been doing matchmaking professionally for over 10 years, for over a decade, and if I was asked to choose just one tip that can drastically change love life and therefore life for many singles, I would say drop this idea that you can find perfection. Drop these crazy expectations and look at real people who can actually make you happy and can change your life for better. I want to wish you lots of love. I remind you that you should press like if you have managed to watch this video till the end. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and of course I encourage you to become a sponsor and get access to additional videos. With love, especially from Munich, Germany for Diolli.com.